Everything falls apart with the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So, the narcissist, they know everything, you know nothing. You're now understanding so much about this behavior, the toxicity, and the disorder that the narcissist has. Now, the narcissist is not going to tell you that that's who they are, or maybe they will. Any way you cut it, you need to remember and recognize the narcissist isn't going to change. They want to change you. And they want to mold you. They want to groom you. They want to trap you, trick you. They want to brainwash you. And of course, yes, they do want to live in your mind. Having said those things, when you realize that a person is toxic, that you are and or were in a relationship with, and you realize that you keep on giving everything more and more and more, you're bending, you are being malleable, you are giving in, you're listening to them, you're contributing, but they're doing absolutely nothing. When you realize that, it's time to cut ties with that person. Now, this is a big pill to swallow, and it is not a fun experience to go through when you recognize or realize that a person is a narcissist or toxic, or let's just dumb it down and let's water it down a little bit. Let's say they're not the narcissist, but let's say they have a level of toxicity. You just don't want to be around said person, no matter who it is. So we won't label them. When you realize that that person is trying to box you in, they're trying to paint you in a corner, they are trying to break you and make you give in to what they want. And when you realize that, there's nothing you can do other than cut ties with said person. One of the greatest signs of intelligence, this has been mentioned years and years ago, and you can agree with it or not, it's when a person has the ability to pivot or to swerve. Example, if they believe that A, B, and C is correct, and then they find out that A, B, and C isn't correct, they change their mind and they say, well, A, B, and C isn't right, it's now D, E, and F. Well, then they made an adjustment. You see, the narcissist won't make an adjustment. The narcissist believes they know everything. They believe they're smarter than you. They believe that they have more wisdom than you, and they don't even know what the word wisdom is. They also believe that you don't know anything. And when you're connected with a person similar to the narcissist or them themselves, and you are constantly trying to defend yourself, to explain yourself, and you're trying to think 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 steps in front of the person you're considering, that's not living. That's not even existing. What that is burning yourself out. Think about a healthy or stable conversation that you have had in the past, not with the person you're considering, but with an average everyday person. Let's say you guys grabbed a coffee. Maybe it happened today. Maybe it happened yesterday. Who knows? I'm not talking about the person you're considering. You went and grabbed a coffee with an average everyday person. What did they do? They probably put their smartphone down on the table. They probably listened to you. They probably looked right at you. They probably paused and read your social cues. They read your mannerisms, and then they gave you their experience, whatever you guys were talking about. Maybe you were talking about the weather. Let's just make that up. If you're talking about the weather, well, then you told them what you thought, and they told you what they thought. And then you had a conversation. But nobody was right. Nobody was wrong. Nobody was experiencing verbal abuse. No one was feeling less than. Nobody was being devalued. And when that cup of coffee, when the conversation with the healthy or stable person ended, they probably picked up the bill and said, hey, it was such a pleasure communicating with you and spending an hour, half hour with you. I got the tab, don't worry about it. And you're like, wow, that's a great thing. Thank you. I'll get it next time. See, that's a healthy or stable form of communication. And that is what the planet needs more of. That is exactly why you are cutting the ties with the narcissist. You will never get that with the narcissist, that healthy or stable communication. Let's use the same example in the coffee shop, now with the narcissist. Let's say again, you're talking about the weather. Yep. The most common, boring, mundane communication between two human beings is the weather, because we all know what it is where we live, and we all know if it's going to rain or sunny, or if it's hail or sleet or snow, whatever. But that's how a conversation starter begins, with the weather usually. Now, having said that, you're with the narcissist, and let's say it's a sunny day like it is here in the Carolina woods. Well, you would tell them, yeah, it's a great day today. It's beautiful. The sun's shining. There's no wind. It's just absolutely spectacular day. What are they going to do? Well, first of all, they won't be looking at you. Second of all, they would have ordered half the menu at the coffee shop. Third of all, yes, you will be paying for it every way possible. Fifth of all, they will be triangulating you on their smartphones, one of the three. And then they will be saying, huh, did you say something? Oh, pardon me, I gotta go. And they wouldn't even say, pardon me. They'd say, gotta go, I have an appointment. Pick this up and box it up and make sure it's in my car later on, or whatever they would do. See, you weren't being heard. You weren't being respected. There was no healthy communication, and you could not ever be listened to when you were with the narcissist. I just barely scratched the surface with that example, but this is why everything falls apart when you're with the narcissist. Picture, if you will, there are two people in a relationship. Whatever type of relationship it is, it's you, and unfortunately, the other person is the narcissist. So let's go back in time. When you were telling the narcissist what you were thinking, all about what you were experiencing, your hopes, your aspirations, your dreams, your goals, what you did at work that day, how you're doing it with the exercise classes, when you were going to get a promotion, or what you wanted to do in this summer's vacation, wherever it was, were they listening to you? Yeah, a little bit. Were they paying attention? Absolutely. Did they want to give you credit for anything? No chance. What they wanted to do was act like their life was more important than yours. And when they did that, you became accustomed to it. Now, this is the part of the video you're going to have to play over and over and over again. Narcissism is not only toxic and debilitating, but it creeps under the radar in one person's life. It slowly picks apart a person. It slowly chips away at somebody. That is exactly why I've shared for videos over the years. It's similar to death by 1,000 paper cuts. Not the most sexy example, but it's true. The longer you're in these relationships, the more you get accustomed to the toxicity. I'll give you many examples right now. What is gaslighting? Well, you now know what that is, but when you were with the narcissist, I can assure you, you didn't know what it was, but you became accustomed to it. So what happened? Example, you'd be talking with the raging narcissist, and you would say something, and then they would gaslight you, and you were so broken down or beaten down in the middle of this relationship towards the end that you wouldn't even put up a fight. You would just say, in your mind, you would say, yep, I guess they're right. I don't think they're right, but it's easier for me to just keep the peace and not say a word, so they think they're right. And so then maybe we can have 15 minutes of stability or whatever it would be. See, they already broke you down. They were already winning. They were already controlling you. You already didn't have a voice. You were being subservient to them. You were not being heard or recognized. Your opinion didn't matter. And I'm not going to keep going on, even though I could. As you were getting accustomed to that, that's not only gaslighting, it's the same thing with triangulation. We'll talk about that for a minute. I've used this exact example and I'll use it again. You're in a restaurant. This is in the past with the narcissist. They have one of their 3 smartphones sitting across the table from you, not next to you, across the table, so they can get a great view of the whole room. They were probably sitting in a corner, so they get the best purview. You were probably facing them, so all you had to do was look at them, but they could see everything behind you. Yeah, this is what they do. Never heard that before in a video, did you? No, you didn't, because this is what the narcissist needs. They need your eyes on them while they're doing whatever they want to do, so you stay locked in and you continue to stay stuck in the trauma bond, the devaluation stage, and of course the narcissistic fog, and they know that. So the strategic placement of them sitting in a restaurant in the corner so they could purview the whole room, you probably never even thought of that. I have thousands of these examples. That was just one. But finishing that example, you didn't realize that that's what the narcissist was doing every time you would go to a restaurant. So you thought that they just wanted to be in the corner because it was safe and because they could hear you and listen to you, and they really didn't want to be disrupted. No, it's quite the opposite. They wanted you doing that so they could look over your shoulder or completely ignore you while they were ordering the filet mignon and the beef tartare or steak Wellington or whatever these things are, over ordering on the menu and not even taking a bite. This is why you need to get away from these people as fast as you can, as far as you can, because everything, and I mean everything, falls apart with the narcissist. Let's talk about money for a quick moment. I've shared this ad nauseum in videos. What does the narcissist love more than money? They love your money more than money. And when the money runs out, the narcissist is right behind your money. But it doesn't stop there. They didn't just steal your money. They stole your purpose. They stole your hopes. They stole your relationships, your health, your time. They stole a big chunk of your life, if you want the truth. Now, you may say, yeah, they did, but you never said it in the video before. Why would you say that now? Well, I'm unloading a lot more wisdom and sharing a lot more to pay it forward to help you out. Truth of the matter is, you could say the narcissist stole that period of time in your life, or you could say that they were in your life for that period, and after you've healed, you will reflect and look back and say, yeah, did you want to go through that? Hell no. Did you? Yeah, but you have to accept it. And then you realize that if you've healed, and my hope is you have or you are, then you realize that getting away from them is the best thing you've ever done, but you couldn't avoid being trapped in the cycle with them because you didn't know back then what you know now. Another example of why everything falls apart with the narcissist, it's because they don't want to work. They don't want to lift a finger to do anything for any relationship once, very important part, once the love bomb and the hooks are over or the hooks are sunken into said person, the target. Remember, the narcissistic abusive cycle goes around in a circle. There's the love bomb or the euphoric stage, smallest part of the relationship. Then there's the devaluation. That's the body of the relationship. That's the longest part by far. This could last years. It could last decades. Then the ending of the relationship, that happens to each and every one of us, any way you cut it. And then at times there's a hoover. You need to get off the radar of the narcissist and become unhooverable, which means don't peek at their social media. Don't drive by their house. Don't listen to people who are peeking on their social media and reporting back to you. Those are people known as flying monkeys. And some flying monkeys are toxic, some aren't, but all should not be communicating with the narcissist. And you should also understand that the narcissist wants people looking at their social media. They do. The narcissist wants people driving by their house. They do. The narcissist wants people stuck. They do. The narcissist wants people to never, and I do mean never, get closure. This is why I create videos every day, and I've done so for almost 6 years, and will continue to do it for another 55, because I'm giving you answers to questions that you have had and do have, and I'm giving you answers to questions that you probably haven't even thought of yet. Remember, we are all on the healing path, headed in the same direction. We are simply taking different footsteps. I could be 30 meters in front of you, you could be 10 miles behind me. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter. You're on the path. When you're on the path, you stay on the path. You don't get swayed, you don't get off the path. And this is why everything eventually falls apart with the narcissist. They're lazy, they're cowards, they're shallow, they're hollow, and they know what they're doing. The narcissist is riddled with anxiety, they're riddled with fear, they're riddled with uncertainty, and they're always juggling multiple people in multiple relationships at any one time. I've referenced this in the past multiple times, I'll say it again. Picture, if you will, a circus. Remember the old days, Barnum and Bailey circus, whatever that thing is? Well, in the middle of the circus is a three-ring top, whatever it's called, the big top. In the middle of the big top is usually a clown with a bright light shining on them and maybe a megaphone or something, whatever it is these days, who knows. And they are painted head to toe in clown gear with the puffy red nose, the goofy hair, the white face, kind of creepy, right? Well, there's your narcissist right there. But using that example with the circus or the carnival, whatever it is, this is what the narcissist wants, and this is how they live, and this is how they thrive. They want as many people buying as many tickets to the circus, to their performance, the clown show, as the three-ring circus can hold. And you, when you were in the relationship, you thought it was just you with them. It wasn't just you. I believe many of you in the community are starting to realize that. You could have married the narcissist. They could have been your roommate. They could have been your best friend. They could have been your sister, your brother. Who knows who the narcissist was, your business partner, don't know. But they were milking you as they were grooming other people and simultaneously milking other people from supply. Again, what is supply? You know it by now. Supply is anything. It can be a pet, it can be a dog, it can be a cat, it can be a bird, it can be a reptile, it can be anything. Supply also can be a phone call. Supply can also be an Amazon package. Supply can be being in a relationship. Supply can be driving traffic on the freeway and somebody cutting you off and doing something negative. Supply to the narcissist is what makes them feel alive. I'm going to say that again, and you should play this part on a loop for the next 24 hours straight. The narcissist needs supply. What is supply? Supply to the narcissist is anything that makes them feel alive. Now you may say, why'd you say that? And alive, I mean, you feel alive, I feel alive, so why wouldn't they? Well, remember, they're not built like you are. Physically, they may look similar to you, but within them, within their core, their heart, there's a big, vast wasteland. It's huge. It's bigger than the Sahara Desert, and they know it. And there's nothing but vast dryness. There's no abundance. There's nothing growing. It's all dead. It's all decrepit. It's dying. It's wilting. It's withering. So what does the narcissist do? They attempt to tap into somebody like you. These are the old days. Who are you? You're an empath, but more importantly, you are what I call a beautiful, bright, shining light. This is you, a beautiful, bright, shining light. This is the narcissist. Now, having said that, because the narcissist has to fill that void with what is known as supply, and I just illustrated what it is, they saw you and they said, oh, this person's always in a great mood. Ooh, this person has money. Oh, this person's sexy. Oh, this person has a lot of friends. Oh my gosh, they belong to the country club. Oh, they have a boat pass. They have this, that, and the other thing. I need to get some of that. What do? Now they begin working on said person, which was you, and it was me. And they start grooming you, tricking you, brainwashing you, luring you, saying, oh, you're going to invite me out? I don't really have to go, but if you invited me, I guess I shouldn't say no, should I? That's the kind of nonsense they do. And before you know it, their hooks are sunken into you, and now you become a shell of yourself. And now the narcissist begins to feed off of you. Just like Thanksgiving Day dinner. That's what they do. That's what they need to do. Now, you need to put that all on the side. Remember, we are almost in the next year, which is 2027. That's the year we're almost in. We're not there yet. The narcissists themselves, plural, all over the planet, they all share the dark energy, but they are scrambling right now, and they will for the rest of their days, scrambling to find supply. Now you may say, well, wait a minute, you just told me supply can be an airplane trip or an Amazon package, wherever. You're right. But those are short-term fixes. Remember, supply only lasts so long. Picture, if you will, another example, and I've littered this video with examples, but picture paper towels. You go to the grocery store, you buy a roll of paper towels. Well, that is supply for you, cleaning up messes in your house. When the supply roll of paper towels is done, you throw it in the bin, and you have to go buy another quicker picker-upper. Got ya, remember? Exactly. Well, when you buy the other quicker picker-upper, that is great, then you use that. That's what you do to clean up your house with a paper towel. Use that and apply that same mentality with the narcissist, with you or other people. They never saw you for who you are. They saw you for what they could take from you because you were naive. You were vulnerable. You have a high level of empathy, but above all, you didn't have boundaries and you didn't know that the narcissist existed. You had no idea. I didn't either. And this is why it all falls apart eventually with the narcissist. Because what the narcissist does is they entangle or ensnare somebody, just like an octopus. They get all the tentacles wrapped around one person and they burn that person out and they blame that person and they shame that person. And that person who doesn't know about narcissism is stuck, and they are continuing to try to explain, defend, and get attention from the narcissist and say, hey, wait, I'm doing everything right here. What's going on? I don't get it. Why aren't you listening to me? What? Well, the narcissist knows this, and they know the person is being peppered and punished. That's why the narcissistic abusive cycle, it just goes down. It's a spiral. Like when you flush your toilet, it just gets worse and worse, and the water or whatever's in there goes down. There's your narcissistic relationship in a nutshell. Sorry to be graphic with the toilet example, but you get it. Nothing improves. Everything gets worse. Everything goes down the drain. Now, if you could flush the narcissist down the drain, would you do it? Absolutely. You can't. Kind of a little side note there, but getting back on track, you need to realize that this wasn't your fault. You need to realize the narcissist continues to elevate their game of toxicity now, in this day and age, because they have to, because they can't get supply as easily as they used to. The narcissist cannibalized their access to supply, all of them. You know why they did that? I'll tell you, because they're greedy and because they always overplay their hand. And what happened with the narcissist, plural, shared this again for years, I'll say it again. What happened with them is once they realized the internet was here and the smartphone was here, 20, 30 years ago, who knows, 15, I don't know. Then they said, wait a minute, there's a plethora. Yeah, look that word up, a plethora of supply. I can now jump on a plane and go 10 different time zones away and lather up a new source of supply and steal their money and break their heart and keep them on the hook. Yeah, this is great. I'll keep doing that. But what happened is all of these raging narcissists had the same idea at the same time because they're all connected to the underworld. Yes, they are. And they all could not wait to feast and feed off of all the new access they had. But what they did, and I really, really hope you're following this, is they all did it at such a quick amount of time. They all thought it was a smorgasbord or an endless buffet of supply. The days would last forever. But what they didn't realize is we figured it out. And you know when we figured it out? That's right. Whenever you figured it out, that's when it was figured out. Now, for me personally, in the year 2020, Can't make that up that year. That's when I figured it out. And what does 2020 mean to you? Well, it's got a dual meaning. It probably has way more than that, but I'll give you one example. 2020 is vision. Your vision is 2020 vision. You can see perfectly now. You can see crystal clearly now. You couldn't see those things before. And the other 2020 is, you should remember, if you lived that during that period of time, and you did, you know what happened. The whole world stopped. And for some people, it hasn't restarted. For others, like you or myself, we've healed, and we are the strongest, most galvanized versions of ourselves known to humankind. But what is the narcissist doing? You got it. They're stuck. They're blowing up other relationships. They're blaming other people, and they are continuing to do what they do. However, they don't have access to you, myself, or so many other billion, with a B, billions of people. So now the narcissist has to reap what they sow. And what did they sow? Nothing but toxicity. It's all coming back to haunt the narcissist. It's all coming back to roost. And the narcissist days are numbered, and the Grim Reaper and Father Time are knocking on the door of the narcissist. Yes, they are. No, I don't wish ill will upon anybody. And no, I don't wish ill will upon the narcissist. I never have, and I'm not going to start now. I'm just going to share this, and I'm closing the video. The narcissist days, they're not only numbered, they're almost over, and they know it. So do your part. Go no contact. Block that person. Delete them. Remove them. And all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If not now, when? You need to understand, eventually it all falls apart with the narcissist. It will fall apart with the new supply, whoever they are. It did fall apart with you. It fell apart before you, and it will continue to with whomever, and I mean whomever, communicates with the narcissist. That is the life of toxicity, and you have no business being connected to it any longer. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. A few things. One, understand something. It always falls apart with the narcissist. Eventually, it always does. When you were in the relationship with them, it was falling apart virtually every single day. You just didn't know it. And eventually, something broke, something gave, something snapped, and that's when the ending of the relationship took place. Next thing you need to recognize is the new supply. Whoever they are not getting the best of the narcissist. There is no best of the narcissist. What you get with the narcissist are little glimpses of what will never be. The little childlike person that you see within them every once in a while that you think is going to come out to play for the rest of their life, that is nothing but an illusion. It's smoke and mirrors. Is there a tiny little person trapped inside the narcissist? Yeah, I believe there is. Can that person come out 24/7 for the rest of their lives? No chance in hell. Never going to happen. Because the narcissist took their vows to the side of toxicity, to the dark side. And you are the beautiful, bright, shining light. So stay away from these people, as far away from them as you possibly can get. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. I love you guys. Bye. And remember, a big virtual heart and big virtual hug for everybody. This community is the greatest community out there by far. I love you all. I'm grateful to be a part of it. I'll see you tomorrow. Understand something. Be patient with yourself. Be kind with yourself. And understand this. You either were or you are trying to fix an unfixable relationship with a narcissist. It will never be fixed. The only way to win is when you don't play the game. So go no contact. If not now, when? I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.